The Paradise Cove Resort stretched along 3 miles of private Caribbean beach, its white buildings gleaming against turquoise water. I watched from the passenger seat as our shuttle approached, my stomach tight with anticipation. "Oh my God, look at this place!" My sister Lauren squealed from the seat behind me. "Jason, take pictures. This is incredible." My brother-in-law Jason was already filming on his phone. "This must cost a fortune. How did you afford this, Natalie?" "Yeah," my older brother Derek chimed in. "I thought you were always broke. Living in that tiny apartment, driving that old car." I kept my eyes on the resort. "I manage." "She's probably maxed out credit cards," Lauren said with a laugh. "You know, Nat. Always pretending she can keep up with us." Mom patted my shoulder from beside me. "It's sweet that you wanted to treat the family, honey. Even if it's beyond your means. We appreciate the gesture." The gesture. As if I hadn't paid for this entire trip. Flights, rooms, meals, excursions. $43,000 for a week-long vacation with my family. A family that had spent the past decade treating me like their personal charity case. The shuttle stopped at the main entrance, where palm trees swayed and a fountain sparkled in the afternoon sun. The staff lined up to greet us, immaculate in their white uniforms. "Welcome to Paradise Cove Resort," the head concierge said warmly. "Checking in?" "Yes." Lauren pushed forward, practically shoving me aside. "Reservation under Torres. We have the deluxe ocean view suites." The concierge checked her tablet. "Ah yes, the tourist party. We have you in rooms 301 through 305. 5 suites total." "Perfect," Dad said, handing over his credit card. "We're ready to start our vacation." The concierge glanced at the card, then at her tablet, her smile never wavering. "Actually, sir, the reservation shows as fully prepaid. No card is needed." "Prepaid." Derek looked at me. "Natalie, you paid for everything already? That's like, what, 15 grand for the rooms alone?" "Try 30, Lauren muttered, checking her phone. "These suites are 6,000 a night. Times 5 rooms times 7 nights." Her eyes widened. "Holy shit, Nat. Where did you get this kind of money?" "I told you. I manage." "By going into debt apparently," Jason said, shaking his head. "This is irresponsible. You can barely afford rent." I said nothing as the bellhops gathered our luggage. The concierge handed out key cards with practiced efficiency. "Miss Torres," she said to Lauren, "you're in suite 301. Mr. and Mrs. Torres Sr., you're in 302. "Wait," Lauren interrupted, examining her key card. "There must be a mistake. This says I'm in an economy room, not a suite." The concierge checked her tablet again. "No ma'am, the reservation clearly shows." "I specifically requested suites for everyone," I said quietly. "Deluxe ocean view suites. 5 of them." "Yes, and that's what I have here," the concierge confirmed. 5 deluxe ocean view suites." Lauren's face was turning red. "Then why does my key say economy?" "Hey, I see." I took the key card and examined it. "This is suite 301. It says so right here." "But economy." "The rooms are labeled by tier for inventory purposes," the concierge explained smoothly. "All of your accommodations are deluxe ocean view suites as reserved." Crisis averted, we headed to our rooms. The suites were stunning. Massive king beds, private balconies, marble bathrooms with soaking tubs. Lauren immediately started taking photos for Instagram. "This is amazing," she gushed. "Nat, seriously, you outdid yourself. Even if you can't really afford it." That night at dinner they ordered everything. Lobster. Wagyu steaks. Bottles of wine that cost more than my supposed monthly rent. The bill came to $3,800. "Just charge it to the room," Derek told the waiter casually. "Room 304. "Excellent, sir. Everything will be charged to the master account." After the waiter left, Derek grinned at me. "Since you're paying for the rooms, we figured we'd cover our own meals." "Fair, right? You just charged $3,800 to my room," I pointed out. "To the master account," he corrected. "That's how resorts work. Everything gets bundled. You'll get one big bill at checkout. Don't worry, we'll Venmo you our share." They wouldn't. They never did. But I smiled and nodded, eating my supposedly overpriced dinner in silence. The pattern continued for 3 days. Spa treatments charged to my account. Golf outings. Scuba diving. jet ski rentals. They ordered premium everything, laughed about the poor sister budgeting, and promised to pay me back later. On day 4, Lauren cornered me at breakfast. So real talk, Nat. How bad is the damage? What are you into this for? It's fine, I said. It's not fine. You've probably spent 50 grand on this trip. That's insane. That's like years of savings for you. I have it covered. Jason snorted. Right. What are you going to do, sell your car? Take out a loan? This is financial suicide. Let her learn, Derek said, biting into his Belgian waffle. Some people need to hit rock bottom before they understand money management. Mom squeezed my hand sympathetically. When you need help with the bills from this, just ask. We can lend you something. Not much, but something. I excused myself and walked to the resort manager's office. Time to end this charade. Ricardo Hernandez was expecting me. Miss Torres, good morning. How are you enjoying your stay? It's been enlightening, I said. Is everything ready for this afternoon? Absolutely. The conference room is reserved for 3 p.m. Your family has been notified about the mandatory guest feedback session. They should all be there. Perfect. And the documentation? Everything you requested. He handed me a leather folder. Financial records, property deeds, charge summaries. All prepared per your specifications. Thank you, Ricardo. He smiled. It's the least I can do for the owner. At 2:55 p.m., my family filed into the resort's private conference room, looking annoyed at the interruption to their vacation. This is ridiculous, Lauren complained. A mandatory feedback session? We're on vacation. It's probably just a sales pitch for timeshares, Derek muttered, slouching in his chair. Ricardo entered at exactly 3 p.m., impeccably professional in his suit. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Ricardo Hernandez, General Manager of Paradise Cove Resort. Yeah, we know, Jason said. Can we make this quick? We have a sunset cruise in an hour. This won't take long, Ricardo said smoothly. First, I need to address some concerns about charges to your rooms. Everyone looked at me. I told you she couldn't afford this, Lauren said. Is there a problem with payment? Not exactly, Ricardo said, opening his tablet. Over the past 4 days, the Torres party has accumulated approximately $67,000 in charges beyond the prepaid room fees. Mom gasped. 67,000? That can't be right. I'm afraid it is. Let me break it down by room. Ricardo displayed the charges on the conference room screen. Room 301, Ms. Lauren Torres and Mr. Jason Chin, $22,000. Spa packages, premium dining, golf, water sports, minibar. Lauren's face went white. We were told those were included. The resort amenities are available to all guests, Ricardo clarified. But premium services require payment. You charged everything to the master account. Because Natalie is paying. Derek protested. She brought us here. She said she'd cover everything. I covered the rooms, I said quietly. That's what I said. I never said I'd pay for every bottle of $1,000 champagne you ordered. This is insane, Jason said, standing. We're not paying $67,000. That's predatory pricing. It's the pricing clearly listed on our menus and service boards, Ricardo said calmly. All of which you agreed to when you signed for services. Dad pulled out his wallet. Look, there's obviously been a misunderstanding. Natalie, how much of this can you cover? We'll split the rest. I'm not covering any of it, I said. These are your charges. Your responsibility. But we don't have $67,000. Mom's voice was panicked. We thought you were paying. Why would you think that? I asked. I drive an old car. Live in a tiny apartment. Barely afford rent according to all of you. Where would I get money like this? The room went silent. Lauren's eyes narrowed. You set us up. You brought us to an expensive resort and let us charge everything, knowing we couldn't afford it. I brought you to a beautiful resort and paid for your rooms, $30,000 worth. You chose to spend an additional $67,000 on premium services without asking about cost. That's on you. This is entrapment. Derek shouted. You can't do this. Actually, Ricardo interjected, Miss Torres can do whatever she likes. She owns the resort. The silence was absolute. What? Dad's voice was barely a whisper. Ricardo smiled. Paradise Cove Resort is owned by Torres Hospitality Group. The primary shareholder and CEO is Natalie Torres. You've been vacationing at her property. Lauren looked like she'd been slapped. You own this place? I own 6 resorts across the Caribbean, I said calmly. This is my newest acquisition. I bought it 8 months ago for $47 million. Mom's hand went to her chest. $47 million? Plus operating costs and renovations. My total investment is around $62 million. Current valuation is approximately $85 million. It's been quite profitable. Derek was shaking his head. This is impossible. You're a hotel clerk. You make like $30,000 a year. I was a hotel clerk, I corrected. 12 years ago when I started in hospitality. I worked my way up to management, then operations, then acquisitions. I've been a hospitality executive for 7 years. Current annual salary, $1.2 million, plus equity stakes in various properties. Jason laughed incredulously. You're a millionaire? And you let us think you were broke. You assumed I was broke, I said. I drive an old car because I like it. I live in a small apartment because I'm rarely home. I dress simply because expensive clothes are impractical for resort inspections. I never lied to you. You just made assumptions. Why didn't you tell us? Mom asked, tears forming. When should I have told you? I asked. During the family dinners where you offered to lend me gas money? When you gave me your old furniture because I couldn't afford new? When Derek suggested I apply for food stamps? When Lauren said I was an embarrassment to the family because of my poverty? No one answered. You treated me like a charity case for a decade, I continued. Made jokes about my budget. Told me I needed to get my act together. Offered me your hand-me-downs. And the whole time I was building a multi-million-dollar hospitality empire. Ricardo cleared his throat. Regarding the charges, Ms. Torres has instructed me to offer you 2 options. Option 1. Pay the $67,000 in full within 30 days. We don't have that kind of money. Lauren said desperately. Option 2, Ricardo continued, Ms. Torres will waive the charges. In exchange, you sign an agreement acknowledging your treatment of her over the past decade and agreeing to have no contact with her unless she initiates it. You're blackmailing us? Derek's face was purple. I'm offering you a choice, I said. Pay for your own excess or admit you've treated me terribly and leave me alone. Either way works for me. Dad stood slowly. Natalie, please. We're your family. We didn't know. If we'd known you had money. If you'd known I had money, what? I interrupted. You would have treated me with respect? You would have valued me? That's even worse. That means you only treat people well if they have something you want. That's not what I meant, Dad said weakly. Yes, it is. I pulled out agreements from my folder. These are option 2. Sign them and the charges are waived. Your vacation continues through the end of the week, prepaid. But after that we're done. Mom was crying openly now. How can you do this? We're your parents. You're the people who told me I'd never amount to anything, I said quietly. Who laughed when I said I wanted to work in hospitality. Who called my career ambitions cute. Who treated me like a failure because I didn't have a big house and fancy car. You judged me by appearances and found me lacking. Every single day. Lauren reached for the agreement with shaking hands. What happens if we don't sign? Then you pay $67,000, Ricardo said. And Miss Torres still never speaks to you again. The only difference is whether you're bankrupt or just estranged. They signed. All of them. Mom's tears smudged the ink. Dad's hands shook. Derek refused to look at me. Lauren and Jason signed in angry silence. Your vacation continues as planned, I said, standing. Enjoy the sunset cruise. The champagne. The premium dining. All of it on me. Consider it a parting gift. Natalie, Mom pleaded, can't we talk about this? We just did, I said. Enjoy Paradise Cove. Don't come back. I walked out of the conference room and didn't look back. They stayed the rest of the week. I watched from my office as they enjoyed the resort. Subdued now, quiet, no more mocking jokes about the poor sister. They left on schedule, loading into the shuttle in silence. I never heard from them again. Well, that's not entirely true. 6 months later, Derek sent an email. Subject: Can we talk? I deleted it without reading. My resorts thrived. I opened 2 more properties and expanded into Europe. I traveled constantly, inspecting sites, meeting investors, building something real. And everywhere I went, I stayed in small apartments, drove rental cars, dressed simply. Not because I had to, but as I wanted to. Because I'd learned that the people who judge you by appearances aren't worth impressing. And the people who love you for who you are will value you whether you're a hotel clerk or a resort owner. I just needed better people. The poor sister learned to budget all right. I budgeted them right out of my life. Best investment I ever made. A year later, I received a wedding invitation. My cousin Maria was getting married at a luxury resort in Mexico. At the bottom, a handwritten note: "We'd be honored if you'd attend. No judgment, just love." I called the resort. It wasn't one of mine, but I knew the owner. "Hello, this is Natalie Torres from Torres Hospitality Group. I'd like to book your presidential suite for a week. And could you send me your catering menu? I'm sponsoring my cousin's wedding. Some family is worth investing in. The ones who loved me when they thought I had nothing. Those are the ones who get everything."